joined by Daniel Jimenez, Galan Lithium Non-Executive Director and highly experienced lithium executive. Daniel, thanks for your time.
Thank you, David, for inviting me here.
Firstly, your experience in the industry.
Yes, I've spent more than 20 years in the industry. I worked for SQM for 28 years. And within those roles of SQM, I participated from the early days of introduction of lithium, developing market and new products for SQM. I held commercial positions in Europe, North America, and I was also a senior commercial vice president for the lithium and iodine business of SQM for 10 years. So basically over these last 20 years I've seen the whole of the development and radical changes which we have seen in the industry, starting from batteries, but also on the supply side, which has been also very significantly changed.
The current lithium sector, what are you seeing from a supply-demand perspective?
Yeah. From a demand point of view, demand of lithium is growing at double digits. We have had a little bit of a hiccup last semester, the second semester of 2019, because of a slowdown in the sales of EV vehicles in China. We were hoping that during the first semester of this year we would see growth rates recovering in China, but evidently coronavirus has not helped to that. So we'll probably have 12 months of a reduced growth rate in total, but overall the perspectives for electrification of vehicles are very good, and therefore we think that demand for lithium will grow. And really the question is, if demand today is 300,000 tons, will it be in 5 years from now, will it be 700, 800, 900? I mean, we're talking here of tremendous growth in demand over the next years. And I think there's no much data about it. Now, on the supply side, we have seen this transformation from a brine-based industry, where lithium coming from brines was the biggest volume. And we're starting 2017, hard rock started to become an important, and then later on, as of 2018, the main source of lithium supply in the world. And this lithium came up very quickly, as Australian producers were able to demonstrate that they were very quickly able to put up mines in operation and in production and supply the world. And that they overdid a little bit. So we have had over the 2018 and 2019 a very important growth in that supply, which meant that supply exceeded demand. So we're now in a situation where we have high inventory levels through all the whole supply chain, and they need to be drawn down. And there's two ways to do it: an increment in demand, in consumption, which is happening little by little, but also probably will need to see an important reduction in the supply during 2020. We have seen already part of that going on, but probably we will need a little bit more of that. Once these inventories are drawn down to more reasonable levels, we'll probably again see prices going above a marginal cost of production, which today many players cannot participate because the prices are too low.
From an investor perspective who doesn't understand the difference, what are some of the unique elements of brines over the hard rocks?
Yeah. Brines are the low, will generally be in the low end of the cost curve, and that's what it has been historically. And brine projects which have been developed or will be developed, they will always be sitting there in the low end of the cost curve. And to put it in a simplified form, if the Salar de Atacama produces lithium carbonate at $2.5 a kilo, brines in Argentina will probably be in the level of $4 to $5 a kilo. And that is what supplied the world until 2016-17, when this big growth of Australian spodumene came to satisfy the increasing demand. And Australian spodumene producers, taking out Talison, which has low costs of production, and bringing back this to an equivalent cost of lithium carbonate, we're talking probably of $5 to $6. For hard rock producers in Australia, for the others, we're talking probably of costs of $7. Yeah. So brines will always be at the lower end of the cost curve. And that is the beauty of brines. Now, what are the complications of brines? It is a process which is more complex, so you will have slower ramp-ups, and the analysis and the studies and the trials and testing which need to be done out there, they're more complex. But once you have mastered this brine, you will have a low cost of production. The other limitation which brines have, and because of the environment they are, that the scaling up of this project is also not that evident, because you need to keep an environmental balance there, which in the case of hard rock, you have the possibility, it's a simpler process, it's a mine that is there, it's not moving like brines. And secondly, you can scale it up and move the chemical part, which is what happens mostly today, that chemical, Australia produces concentrates and China produces the chemical in multiple plants around China. So the risk of that stage is also very much distributed among many players. So that's why you can very quickly grow, produce large volumes at a higher cost. But with a high demand of lithium, which we're going to see in the world, brine producers are going to be making money based on high margins. Mineral producer will be probably making money based on high volumes. So that is, I would say, to put it in a simple way.
So looking now at Galan Lithium, what drew you to the company and its projects?
Yeah. Now with Galan, I was first of all attracted by the location. Galan is sitting in Hombre Muerto, which is the first salt lake where a project was developed in Argentina. After Atacama in Chile, FMC at that time chose Hombre Muerto to develop their project. So it is probably the best neighborhood to be in Argentina. But not only that, the other very attractive thing of Galan is the grades and low impurity levels which the company has been able to achieve in the drillings, which are outside what we would call the core of the salt lake, and it's on the outskirts, where for some reason, geological reason, higher concentrations of lithium or brines with high concentration of lithium are deposited there today. So it is in a good location, in a good neighborhood. It has very high grades, higher than what we know exists in the rest of the salt lake. So it will very likely be a production of lithium, a low-cost production site, and the complexities of brines, at least in Hombre Muerto, they're well understood. So you can develop processes, probably through conventional evaporation processes, which are sound and economically very convenient.
Putting your commercial hat on and your lithium experience hat on, how closely do you think competitors or the market will be watching Galan Lithium and its results?
I think it will open the eyes of the competitors, first of all because of the quality of the resource. Secondly, for where the resource was found. And again, if we would look at the map of the salt lake, this resource is in the outskirts under some alluvial fans, which is not where traditionally lithium is being produced today. I mean, usually as a lithium producer or as an explorer, you look at the core of the salt lake, where you expect the high concentrations to be. So my guess is that after people understanding where Galan's brine is located, we will say it will open the eyes to maybe explore outskirts of existing salt lakes. So yeah, it will definitely they will be looking into that. And then yeah, I think it might also open the eyes of the other producers or projects in Hombre Muerto, in the sense of they themselves looking elsewhere in Hombre Muerto.
So from an investor perspective, Would you think or hope that investors in Galan should be excited by the opportunity ahead?
This is a very biased opinion, but yes, I'm personally very excited. And it was also the reason why I decided to participate in the board of Galan. At the end of the day, I live from consulting, and this obviously means that I have conflicts of interest when I do certain consulting nowadays. But I honestly think that here we have a very good opportunity for Galan's investors. So I'm happy and excited.
Daniel, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me here, David.